Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went there? Or maybe you've started telling a story, only to pause midway, trying to remember the point. You're not alone. These moments can feel frustrating, even a little scary, especially as we get older. But here's something important to remember. Getting older doesn't mean losing your sharpness. In fact, with the right habits, your brain can stay just as focused, alert, and powerful as ever. It's easy to think that memory loss or mental fog is just part of aging, like gray hair or wrinkles. But the truth is, your brain is more like a muscle than a machine. And just like your body, it needs regular movement, fuel, and care to keep performing at its best. The exciting part: you don't need expensive supplements or complicated routines. Just a few simple daily habits can spark real, lasting change. That's what we're diving into today. We're going to talk about 6 incredibly effective brain tricks you can start doing every day to boost your focus, strengthen your memory, and stay mentally sharp long after 60. These aren't magic fixes. They're practical, science-backed habits that work gently and powerfully with your brain's natural rhythm. Let's start with something that might surprise you. Talking to yourself. Yes, you heard that right. You might already do it when you're cooking, folding laundry, or trying to remember where you put your glasses. What might feel like a quirky habit is actually a powerful cognitive tool. Speaking out loud helps your brain process information more deeply. When you verbalize your thoughts, like saying, "Sfummling, I'm putting my keys on the kitchen counter," you're engaging your auditory and motor systems along with your memory, making it more likely that you'll actually remember where you put those keys. It also helps keep your mind organized. If you're facing a decision, try talking through it out loud. I could go for a walk now or after dinner, but it might be too dark later, so I'll go now. That small act of voicing your thought gives your brain clarity. It's like creating a roadmap instead of fumbling through the fog. So the next time someone catches you chatting to yourself, smile and say, "I'm just boosting my brain." Now let's move into something that's just as simple but often overlooked. Drinking water early in the day. It sounds almost too easy, doesn't it? But after 60, your body's thirst signals become weaker. And that means dehydration can sneak up on you. What many people don't realize is how deeply hydration affects brain function. Even mild dehydration can cause fatigue, fuzzy thinking, and forgetfulness. Your brain is made up of nearly 75% water, and when it's not properly hydrated, it's like trying to drive a car with the engine sputtering. Make it a habit to drink a full glass of water within the first 30 minutes after you wake up. Not tea, not coffee, just water. It kickstarts your circulation, helps clear the brain fog, and primes your mind for focus. If you often wake up feeling groggy or sluggish, this one simple act might be the boost you didn't know you were missing. You can even take it one step further by pairing that morning water with a brief period of stillness. Not scrolling through your phone or turning on the news, but just sitting quietly. It doesn't have to be meditation. Just 2 to 3 minutes of letting your mind breathe. In that space, your thoughts settle and your focus sharpens naturally. And speaking of focus, let's talk about another trick that seems small but has a massive impact. Using your non-dominant hand for simple tasks. If you usually brush your teeth with your right hand, try using your left. If you stir your tea with your right hand, switch it up. Why? Because it challenges your brain in new ways. This kind of small disruption forces the brain to create new neural connections. It's like taking your brain to the gym without lifting a single dumbbell. You don't have to change everything, just pick 1 or 2 daily tasks. It might feel awkward at first, but that's the point. That discomfort is your brain working harder, building new pathways, and staying flexible. Think of it as a mini brain workout hidden inside your daily routine. These first few habits might feel incredibly basic, and that's the beauty of them. They're not about adding stress to your day. They're about slipping seamlessly into your life and turning ordinary moments into brain-boosting opportunities. Every time you speak out loud to reinforce memory, drink water before the coffee, or stir your oatmeal with your non-dominant hand, you're giving your mind a spark, a gentle reminder that it's still growing, still learning, still strong. And when you build these tricks into your daily rhythm, they start to build on each other. Your focus becomes clearer, your memory sharper, your mind calmer and more awake. These are the small hinges that swing big doors. Now, let's keep. You might not think about your eyes much during the day, especially if your vision is holding steady. But here's something fascinating. How you move your eyes can have a powerful effect on how your brain functions. This next brain trick involves something called eye tracking, a gentle, deliberate exercise that helps improve focus and alertness almost immediately. Try this. Sit comfortably and slowly move your eyes from left to right, back and forth, about 10 times. Then move them up and down a few times. You're not straining or rushing, just smooth, controlled movements. What you're doing here is engaging the parts of your brain responsible for spatial awareness and attention. It sounds strange, but studies have shown that these simple movements can actually improve memory recall and even calm anxiety. It's like hitting a mental reset button. You can also use your eyes to boost concentration. The next time you're trying to focus on something, reading, solving a puzzle, or even listening closely to someone, try holding your gaze gently on one spot for a few moments. You'll notice your mind stop wandering so easily. It's almost like your eyes are steering your thoughts. Now, while we're talking about subtle things with big effects, let's get into something you might already be doing, but perhaps not as intentionally as you could. And that's listening to music. Music isn't just entertainment. For your brain, it's fuel. When you listen to music you love, especially songs that connect you to powerful memories or emotions, your brain lights up in areas responsible for memory, emotion, and even movement. That's why hearing a favorite old song can instantly take you back in time, clear as day. But here's how you can turn music into a brain-boosting tool. Set aside 10 to 15 minutes a day to actively listen to music. Not just background noise while you do dishes, but a focused experience. Sit down, close your eyes, and let yourself get lost in the rhythm. Try different genres, maybe something with complex patterns like jazz, classical, or even instrumental movie soundtracks. These stimulate the brain more deeply than repetitive or overly familiar tunes. And if you're feeling low energy or sluggish, try upbeat rhythms. Your brain will naturally sync to the tempo, which can lift your mood and increase alertness. The best part, you can do this anywhere, in a cozy chair, in your garden, or even lying in bed. Just you, your breath, and the melody. You know, one of the most powerful things about this stage of life is that you finally have the space to slow down, to notice the details, to care for yourself in ways that might have been impossible when life was faster, noisier, busier. And one of the greatest ways to care for your brain is to give it variety. That brings us to another trick, one that's as fun as it is beneficial, learning something new every single day. It doesn't need to be a big lesson or a serious commitment. It can be a new word you've never heard before, a small fact about nature, history, or a different culture. The key here is novelty. When your brain is exposed to something unfamiliar, it has to build new neural connections to understand and store that information. This process strengthens memory and keeps the brain adaptable, much like how exercise keeps the body agile. You could try reading one article a day from a topic you've never explored. Watch a short documentary. Ask your grandchild to explain something about technology. Even learning a new card game or recipe counts. Each of these experiences nudges your brain gently out of autopilot and says, hey, stay awake, stay curious. And curiosity is a powerful thing. It brings energy, it brings light. The brain loves novelty because it reminds us we're still capable of growth. That even after 60, 70, or 80, we are not static. We are still becoming. You might notice that some of these habits seem small, even a little silly at first. Moving your eyes, switching hands, listening to music, sipping water with intention. But when practiced daily, they begin to ripple through your life in meaningful ways. A bit more clarity here, a little more sharpness there. It's like slowly wiping the fog off a mirror. Day by day, you start remembering names more easily. You find it easier to finish a book or follow a long conversation. Your thoughts feel more organized, your emotions calmer, and your confidence gently rebuilding itself. And here's the quiet truth. Your brain wants to help you. It wants to serve you well, no matter your age. You just have to give it the right kind of attention. Let's keep this journey going. We're already seeing how small actions can create powerful changes. Now let's look at something you can do with almost no effort, but it brings surprising results for mental clarity and memory. One of the simplest, yet most overlooked habits that can boost mental clarity is something we often take for granted: breathing. Of course, we all breathe without thinking, but that's exactly the problem when we breathe shallowly. The way many people do when sitting or feeling stressed, our brain doesn't get the oxygen it needs to function at its best. And when your brain is running on low oxygen, you're more likely to feel foggy, distracted, or even anxious. That's why one of the most powerful brain tricks you can do is to practice intentional deep breathing, just for a few minutes each day. Here's how. Sit comfortably, place your hand gently on your stomach, and slowly breathe in through your nose for a count of 4. Hold it for another count of 4. Then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. Repeat this 5 or 6 times. You might feel a little silly at first, but after just a minute or two, you'll notice your shoulders relaxing, your thoughts slowing down, and your sense of focus gently returning. Deep breathing activates the part of your nervous system that tells your body you're safe, you're calm, you're present. And when your body gets that message, your brain responds by clearing out distractions and sharpening concentration. This tiny shift, slowing your breath, can make a huge difference, especially before doing something that requires mental effort, like reading, writing, or engaging in conversation. It's a way of creating space in your mind, space for clarity, for memory, for peace. And that brings us to the final brain trick in our journey. And it might just be the most enjoyable of them all. Laughter. Yes, laughing, really laughing, is one of the best things you can do for your brain. When you laugh, your brain releases a cocktail of feel-good chemicals like dopamine and endorphins. These are the same chemicals responsible for improving mood, lowering stress, and enhancing focus. But beyond that, laughter actually strengthens neural connections, especially those involved in creativity and problem solving. Think about it. When you share a laugh with someone, your mind is fully present. You're not distracted. You're not stuck in the past or worrying about the future. You're alive in the moment, and that presence, that full attention, is what your brain thrives on. Try watching a funny show or movie you love, revisiting a comedy sketch from years ago, or calling a friend who always makes you laugh. Better yet, seek out humor in your everyday life. Sometimes the funniest moments come from the most ordinary situations, like putting your glasses on your head, then searching the whole house for them. We've all been there. And when you can laugh at it instead of getting frustrated, you're giving your brain a much-needed break from pressure. So don't underestimate the power of joy. It's not just a nice feeling. It's a form of nourishment for your mind. And when you combine that joy with the other habits we've talked about, hydration, novelty, music, movement, breathing, and awareness, you create a daily rhythm that keeps your brain strong, stable, and awake. Now, let's take a breath together and think about how far we've come. You started this video because you wanted to stay sharp, to stay focused, to hold on to the best parts of your mind, your memories, your clarity, your spark. And now you have a toolbox of daily tricks that can help you do exactly that. You don't have to do everything perfectly. You don't have to remember it all right away. What matters is that you start. Maybe today it's just switching hands while brushing your teeth. Or maybe it's putting on a song that lifts your spirits. Maybe it's pausing for one deep breath before you open a book or make a phone call. These small steps create powerful change. Not all at once, but day by day. And remember, you are not losing anything as you age. You are evolving. Your brain is capable of so much more than we often give it credit for. It is strong, resilient, and ready to grow with you. You are not fading, you are refining. You are entering a season of deeper wisdom, clearer purpose, and yes, sharper focus. So take this moment to feel proud of yourself. You showed up, you listened, you cared for your brain today. That's something to celebrate. And if this video brought you value, consider sharing your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your experience, which trick you'll try first, or what's worked for you in the past. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so we can continue growing together with more helpful tips, stories, and encouragement. Here's to your clarity, your memory, your joy. Here's to living your brightest, sharpest life. At any age, you deserve it. Let's keep growing.